Anybody that side?
Oh, I say hello!
How's it going, everyone? Cinder here, back with another episode of Tugs Character Profiles. Today's episode features the man himself, Top Hat.
Me?
Top Hat is the fourth member of Captain Star's Startug fleet. He is the only railway tug in Big City Port. As a result, his primary duty is transporting the rail barges Frank and Eddie across the harbour. Because he needs to be able to see over the wagons on his barges, his head, or wheelhouse, has the ability to move up and down, which has led to some of the quirkiest moments in the show. It also appears to symbolise his moral status in certain situations. When he's high and mighty, it's raised. When he's down and out, it's lowered. Top Hat is a huge fan favourite, and if you're not familiar with the show, then you might wonder why upon hearing a description of his character. Top Hat is something of an upper class stereotype. He almost always acts snobby, rude, pompous, and is pretty vain. He also complains a lot.
I say this is an outrage. Oh, really? How inconvenient. First Lily, now Grampus. It's just too much. I'll never make the show on time. I don't want to miss the regatta, especially as I'm leading it.
Now stop whinging, Top Hat.
Although he often acts confident, he can be very jittery and can end up panicking, as seen in episodes such as Regatta and Ghosts. He does work hard, but his attitude often gets to be too much for his colleagues, which often leads to arguments.
Captain Star, we've just about had enough of Top Hat's insults. He's more trouble than he's worth.
Aye, and you said that wasn't very much, didn't you, 10 cents, eh?
So why is he such a fan favourite? Well, for one, he's one of the most amusing characters in the show, often cracking jokes and one-liners that you wouldn't expect to hear from anyone else.
You know, it never fails to amaze me. Every day I see something new. Today it's the sight of a floating sack of coal, no less.
Another reason is because Top Hat has the best character arc, and one of the best character moments in the show by far. This comes forth in the episode High Tide. Ask anyone what their favourite Tugs episodes are, and this one is bound to come within the top 5. In this episode, Top Hat is put on garbage duty, as Warrior has been taken off it to help Big Mac compete against the Z-Stacks for the steel contract. Of course, Top Hat is none too pleased about this. Meanwhile, Zack and Zebedee decide to take a shortcut through the canal, but it backfires as their steel rig collides with a railway bridge.
That's real zero thinking, W.
After they leave for help, Top Hat hears an approaching train, and so he takes it upon himself to drag the heavy rig under the bridge to support it as the train passes. After the train does get across successfully, the bridge collapses and another train approaches. Without wasting any time, Top Hat pushes Lord Stinker the garbage barge under the bridge, and they catch the train just in the nick of time. Aside from being such a cool action sequence from start to finish, this moment is probably the most satisfying one in the show. You see, up until this point, Top Hat has been nothing but a complete arsehole. He has done nothing but be rude and insulting to almost everyone around him, including his colleagues. Normally character arcs like this result in a character being too full of themselves, and then getting their comeuppance, essentially learning the hard way. However, this doesn't happen with Top Hat. Instead, he gets thrown into a serious situation and decides to take it upon himself to save the train. This goes to show that underneath his self-important exterior, Top Hat is a good-hearted character deep down. On top of that, he ends up bonding with Lord Stinker. You see, it was Stinker who came up with the idea of being pushed under the bridge to catch the train. This act of selflessness ensured that Top Hat gained an immediate respect for him. This isn't the only moment of kindness he's shown either. He did join his comrades in saving Grampus from the Navy, albeit reluctantly. He also showed immediate concern for Tencent when he saw him trying to save Izzy, and even did what little he could to help. Not to mention, he has also complimented Warrior of all characters on a job well done. In a deleted scene from Quarantine, Top Hat was supposed to appear in order to protest against the proposed scrapping of OJ, completing his character arc, and cementing the idea that he has finally learned to care for his friends. As is the case with all of his fellow Star Tugs, Top Hat's basis is derived from the San Francisco Tugs of the 1920s. In the aforementioned episode Ghosts, we see that Top Hat is the only known Tug to possess a foghorn in conjunction with his regular whistle. Top Hat is voiced by John Padelli, who has appeared in shows such as Coronation Street and The Bill. His name, like the rest of the stars, does seem to have some significance or extra meaning behind it. At first glance, it seems like it's a reference to the Fat Controller, aka Sir Topham Hatt from Thomas, what with the Top Hat being the controller of the railway, and of course Top Hat being a railway tug. While I'm sure that has some significance, its more direct meaning is more of a reference to his upper class personality, as such an accessory is typically worn by upper class people. I really like Top Hat. He is an amusing character and hands down has some of the best moments in the show, combined with the best character arc. So remember how I've been comparing Tug's characters to those from Thomas in an attempt to find a counterpart? Well, most people in the fandom seem to think that Top Hat is a counterpart to either Gordon or James. Personally, I consider Top Hat to be an amalgamation of both. More so Gordon than James, but still both. On the James side of things, Top Hat is rather vain and is obsessed with his image. Both also throw a lot of jokes at their colleagues. Granted, James's jokes do feel a tad more lighthearted, but still. On the Gordon side of things, both characters are pompous and rude and have a very important sense of self. They both also fit the role of an upper class type character, both using complex words and the such. They both also complain about being given jobs they don't like, Gordon when being asked to pull trucks, and Top Hat when he's assigned to garbage duty. And of course, they both have solid character arcs that result in them learning to appreciate others. Also, all three characters are rather arrogant as well. So to summarise, I consider Top Hat to be a counterpart to mostly Gordon with hints of James sprinkled in here and there. Well, that's it for another character profile. As always, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Top Hat is a fan favourite, so I'm glad I finally got around to covering him. If you know who the 5th Star Tug is, then you know who we're doing next. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. It only takes a second and really helps out the channel. Anyways, until next time, I've been Cinders and Ashes UK, you've been awesome, and until next time, have an awesome day.